Pete Mergens is with us. We're at Professional Pride Realty. We always enjoy coming here. We've got some folks stopping by from the Chamber, as it's a community-based show, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the community that Chamber's involved with, right, Pete?
Yes, indeed. We're happy to have them here with us today.
We certainly are. It's always good to see Todd and Lisa.
It always seems to make for a fun show. We have some good humor that seems to roll off the tongue.
Yeah, well, you guys obviously know each other pretty well. So you can rip each other.
We were neighbors, but the Chamber had to go up and move on us.
Yeah, why did they go and do that?
I don't know. It could have been something we said. I don't know.
No,
it's hard to say.
I think they got more room where they're at. Right?
Exactly.
So spring has popped, right?
It has. Well, at least by the weatherman's depiction of it, anyhow. It's a beautiful day out today, and we got a bunch of rain here yesterday. So not only do we have flowers out today, but we have buyers out today. I just looked at the multiple listing service this morning, and there are 84 homes available in our school district right now. And of those, 15 of them have offers on them. So that really means there's only 69 homes, twin homes, townhomes, single-family homes, country homes, you name it. That's it, 69. So if there was ever a time that you're thinking about selling your home, it would be now.
Yep, you're putting in your senior housing out in Dundas?
Yep, we have a new project, as we've talked about in the last few weeks, Cannon River Valley Estates. It's a 55 and older project that we have opening up here this spring. In fact, we're just finishing up the dirt work on it as we speak, and we have, I think, 4 lots spoken for right now out of the 19, so there's plenty available to build your next dream on.
I'm guessing the best lots have been taken, though, right?
Oh gosh, no, not by a long shot.
Well, they're all good lots.
Well, they're all good lots, Gordy, of course.
Yeah.
But no, the walkout lots, there's plenty of them available. Those seem to be the ones that people gravitate towards because they have a walkout with a nice view. But to be sincere, all the lots are really quite nice.
Yeah, you still get to be right next to nature.
Exactly right.
Which is the beauty of it.
Yep.
What a great way to retire.
Well, the Cannon River Valley is a beautiful area. We're very blessed to have it be a focal point of our town and our community. But imagine being able to live on the river. Pretty special.
Yeah. Could be Tom Sawyer.
You could. Well, I think right now you probably could. There's probably plenty of water rolling through the river right now, so otherwise sometimes I think you could even walk some of that river when the middle of summer. There are parts of it that kind of slow down a bit. But
yeah, it's pretty high right now.
Yeah, it's definitely flowing.
Yeah, it's booking pretty good. We're going to take a little break. We got a lot of stuff to cover here, thanks to the folks coming over from the Chamber. So, John, take it away for that market update.
Yep. We would love to add a few good quality folks to our staff here. Well, the good news is we go up there too.
I know. Is the market different up there?
Slightly, yet the same. We're experiencing a lack of inventory everywhere across the state, but there's pockets that differentiate from community to community. Northfield is pretty special, without a doubt. I think we have some interesting things going on because of the lack of new construction we have right now that are affecting our people's ability to move or to move up, if you will. But I do think it exists throughout the Twin Cities, the shortage of varying degrees.
I did see where the warehouse district condos went for a $4.2 million price tag, which could be tops in the country.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So that tells you, they paid top dollar for it. They must think they're going to get a return on their investment.
Yeah. Well, without a doubt, like I said, lack of inventory everywhere. And so it's brought a lot of people out to take a look, investors alike. So I guess I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. But the lack of building in Northfield You had any theory as to why that is? Because if there are demands there, you'd think they're developers.
Well, it just it was kind of a perfect storm. We had lots of new construction happening here before the market crashed, and a lot of the local builders really got hurt with that. There was a lot going on in the building industry at the time where if you weren't buying and owning the land, you were kind of getting snuffed out by the national builders. So there were a lot of smaller builders and medium-sized builders that went out on a limb and bought some land, and then the market crashed. And so subsequently, a lot of those folks, unfortunately, lost their business. So,
and the ones that didn't are leery about going back into it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's coming. We have a couple projects in the hopper that Professional Pride Realty is involved with, and we'll talk about those in the coming weeks. But it's going to change. It just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. You have daughters?
I do. I have one beautiful little 8-year-old daughter.
Think she'd like ladies' night out?
I bet she would love it.
I don't know if that's for 8-year-olds. I guess we'll find out.
It might be. I don't think it probably is, but it could be.
I think Todd wanted to say something here.
Yeah, I think the other thing on the housing market is when you had the collapse, those properties that builders owned went back to the banks.
Yep. Banks
took a big hit, either owning those properties. You saw some new regulations come through, and some of the difficult part is as an independent small home builder, you don't have the dollars or resources to be able to put in infrastructure to do a to start a subdevelopment. And I think and banks are not lending money to builders to do that. So it's a catch-22. You don't have the overwork of lots continues to go away. And you don't have anybody that's capable of doing that unless it's, one of the top 10 home builders in the United States. And so for many communities, they kind of are in that catch-22. And then on top of that, you'll have things like where we had some lots or a ghost-platted development on the southeast end of town that went back to bankruptcy to the county. And so the city picked it up for a park, and that, so there was maybe the potential of 60, 70 lots there that could have been built on that disappeared as well. So I think there's a combination of things that are happening that just makes it difficult for us to try to do new development, especially in this community.
You have any theories, Pete, as to how we can beat that?
Well, like Todd alluded to, it affected a lot of people, but we have some folks now running a few projects through the city, and I do think things will definitely be expanding by the end of the summer as we can get these projects built and underway. So I there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, but we're needing to continually find new ways to expand, and it's really important. In a community like ours, a lot of people kind of like the idea that we're in between the Twin Cities and Rochester, and I don't want to say forgotten, but we're kind of a special little gem here. And so, I think it's really important that we always strive to bring people into our community. It's a strong, positive direction to go to bring in new business and new homes and people.
Well, you're a hop, skip, and a jump from 52 and a hop, skip, and a jump from 35, so good location.
Yep. One would argue the perfect location. So it's really it's an incredible place to live and own a business. I'm very grateful.
Which is why you have Professional Pride Realty here.
That is correct.
Oh. Todd's got
I would also add on to this because I kind of like talking about home building and our situation here. There's a lot of push, and I think in our community, talking about affordable housing.
Yep.
And, why can't we do more of that? And it really is supply and demand. I think Pete can tell you that, to build a home, take the land out of it, just to build a home to the standards that are required both from a city level and a state level, you're talking minimum, $250,000 if you take the lot out of it. If you take the lot out of it, then you got to add land onto that as well. And so I'd love to have a section of starter homes where someone like my son, who's the teacher up at St. Dominic's, would be able to afford to be able to move into. But it's just impossible. You're not built. You can't build anything right now, for $125,000 or $150,000, which is really what when you say affordable, that's what you're looking for, unless you're going to subsidize that some way. And it just isn't going to happen in the open marketplace. So while we talk about they like to have affordable housing, it's going to require someone subsidizing it to be able to make that happen.
Yeah. And as you say, what's affordable to me and what's affordable to Todd and what's affordable to Lisa are three different things.
Yeah, well, and I think it's important to note that any type of building within reason, and a lot of people don't realize it, that it does create movement throughout the whole sector, if you will. So even if you get someone moving out of a $150,000 or $250,000 older home in town, and they're moving up to say a $300,000 or $350,000 home, it opens up an opportunity for somebody else, and that's what we're lacking. Is nobody has the ability to necessarily move up right now, and if they do, if they are sitting in a home like that because of the lack of inventory, as Lisa and I were talking off air, well, gosh, Pete, if I sold my house right now, would I be able to find another house right away? Well, yeah, you would. It's a little bit more of kind of a scary prospect of, blindly selling my house and hoping that something's there. But you'd be surprised when you actually get in the mode of buying that there are plenty of really nice properties out there. You just need to get out and look at them. And so, yes, Lisa, I think we can find you another home.
I'm not selling right now.
You're not?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we talk about home development and we talk about economic development, and many times when we talk about economic development, we're looking for the next business to come in, next manufacturing plant, the next whatever that's going to employ people. But if you're building 40 or 50 homes or 75 homes in a community a year, that's economic development as well. They all just don't show up overnight. You fill them with helium, and voila, you have a house the next day. There's so many skilled people that are involved in that, so many trades that are involved with that, and they're in the same predicament that most everybody else is in right now. Older, aging workforce, and trying to find employees to be able to fill those positions. So it really is kind of there's a huge cycle. It just isn't about we just need this piece or that
right.
piece. There's so many things that are interconnected with that, and that's another reason why it costs so much to build a home. Is you're lacking the employees necessary to do all of those trades to get it in. So
it's like the cat chasing its tail here.
Absolutely.
So you want to tell us about Girls' Night Out? We've kind of plugged it a few times here.
We have. Lisa, you going to let me talk about Girls' Night Out? Then when we do Boys' Night Out, we'll let you talk about that. How's that? So Girls' Night Out, it's the 11th annual, Friday, May 11th, and I don't necessarily know the history here in Northfield, other than there were a couple of business owners that had a women's clothing store that really wanted to create something special, and I think they've always picked the fishing opener because in the past, typically, your husband or significant other heads up to go fish, and then women were left alone, and they decide a cat's away, the mouse play, or whatever we want to say with that. So anyway, we are excited to have that. We've got 15 different sponsors this year. We've changed a little bit up. We used to have a passport program that you have to walk around and get your passport stamped, and then we did a drawing for chamber bucks. This year, we're just going to, at the participating sponsors, you have the ability to register. So you could register up to 15 different times if you stopped in each one of the stores. And we're going to give away $475 in chamber bucks. So, well worth coming down. There's a wide variety of our sponsors, both food and beverage and ladies apparel. And oh yes, and Bierman's Home Furniture. So I mean, the gamut of stuff that's available out there, you can do that. I know that, but I had just said women's apparel, and I wanted to make sure that there was many more things that were out there besides that. So, and also this year, if you want to stop by the chamber and buy $100 in chamber bucks, we'll give you $10 in free. So. That might be one of your first stops, is to actually buy some chamber bucks and get a discount, and then go spend them in all the other stores.
Makes sense.
Sign up. So,
it says drink, dine, and dance on your flyer, so where do I dance?
Well, you can dance down the street with all of your bargains available as well. And we would expect on Friday night, Froggy's typically has some sort of band that's there, so might be able to dance there as well, or maybe after your half-price bottle of wine at the Hideaway, you might want to dance as well. And then we've got other chamber members venues that will be having entertainment as well. Eminent Brewing, the Tavern Lounge always has some entertainment as well. Contented Cow would have some. So I mean, there's myriad of opportunities that once you finish shopping, you can partake in some adult beverages as well.
So you got a golf tournament coming up.
And I have a golf tournament coming up as well. Anything else we want to talk about with Girls' Night Out?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Girls' Night Out. But the day before Girls' Night Out, so if you are getting married, we have the Northfield Wedding Fair. That is on May 10th. That's Thursday night from 4 to 7 p.m., and that is at the Gardens of Castle Rock. So there will be lots of vendors from everything from florists to rental companies to DJs to people who create wedding invitations, and me. I'll be there as well. So we will be showcasing. I will be showcasing what Northfield has to offer, but all of the other vendors will be there, answer questions. There will be prize drawings. It'll be a really good time. So if you are engaged, newly engaged, planning your wedding, or involved in that in any way, I encourage you to come up to the Gardens of Castle Rock, which is just on Highway 3. Then we have Girls' Night Out the next night, so you can just have like Girls' Week. It'll be really fun. And then moving forward a little bit, on the 19th and 20th is Dundas Armed Forces Days. So that's at the Dundas Showgrounds, just south of town here. And it's a really great opportunity to honor the veterans and to check out some great military vehicles and different displays. This is the third year that they've had it in Dundas. I believe it was up at the Dakota County Fairgrounds prior to this. But so this is a really great event. And then the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, Rice County Gas and Steam Engines has their swap meet and festival, so that's kind of fun too. That again is at the Dundas Showgrounds.
Okay, I was just going to ask. The Dundas Showgrounds is where the Rice County Steam.
Yep, that's where they have it, all of their activities. So, yep.
Boy, has that grown up over the years.
Yeah, it's a great location for things. They have things going on quite a bit. They're growing more and more and more every year.
I mean, I remember when there were no buildings there.
Yeah, it's nice. One of those hidden gems that many people don't know about, but we love it as well because it brings their events bring lots of out of town individuals. So we get visitors in, and they're spending money here in town and also spending the night. So you can't ask for that.
The fishing opener is this weekend, and there's no reason why people can't go fishing around here.
No,
it's big business.
Absolutely,
fishing business in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
And we got a lot of great places to fish around here.
So, are you heading way up north?
I am.
Yeah, see. Bad Pete.
Yeah, he's probably got a spot up there. So
absolutely.
That makes the difference.
Well, he's spending dollars up in that community, so that's important as well.
Staying in Minnesota.
Hey, one thing I want to talk about at Girls' Night Out, the events at the Chamber host, they can't happen without our sponsors doing that. You know, the Home and Garden Show was a great success, and that was sponsored by Professional Pride in Realty, yes. And I've sponsored that for years. Again, we couldn't have that event, but I just want to quickly mention the sponsors that we have. And this is where you'll actually be able to register to win the Chamber Buck prizes. We have Monarch Gift Shop. We have the Rare Pair. We have Hideaway Coffee House and Wine Bar, Mainstream Boutique, Swag, The Goat, Fine Fettle, Froggy Bottoms River Pub, Club Tiki, Paper Petalum, Anna's Closet, The Measuring Cup, The Secret Attic, Bierman's Home Furnishings, A Bag Lady, and then the Northfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. So, and what you'll need to look for is we'll have some A-frame signs that we purchased, kind of the old real estate signs, and actually have some inserts put in. And so they'll have Be Pink, Girls Night Out sponsor, and that's where you'll want to go to register. But we also want you to make sure that you hit every store in downtown Northfield, whether they're a chamber member or not a chamber member. So
you can take a virtual walk through homes when you're looking to buy a home on the website, right, Pete?
Yes.
They have all kinds of virtual walkthroughs of homes, but isn't it better to go see it in person?
It's always better to see it in person. That's one thing with the internet now kind of ruling the world, so to speak. Pictures and videos and things are taken to enhance what something looks like, but you cannot do better than seeing it in person, without a doubt.
So. Yeah. You had some other things you wanted to plug, Ted, before I leave?
Yeah, the one other thing I'd like to plug is I think last month we had our partners that were in that had moved into the office with us, and one of those is the NDDC, and so I should take a shout out. They have a new program that's going on this year starting. It's called First Friday Art Nights, and so they will have stroll through downtown Northfield every first Friday of the month from 5 to 9 p.m. and encounter art and performances of all kinds at no cost. It'll be free. So those dates are June 1st, July 6th, August 3rd, October 5th, November 2nd, December 7th. And so, we really want to make sure that people are aware of that. There's all sorts of things. I know they're going to be doing something actually in the chamber office as well. And the nice thing about, we talk about collaboration, how that works. We were talking about the A-frame signs that we purchased that we were going to use for some of our events. Well, talking with Jenny, I said, hey, you can have access to those if you want to put your advertisement in that as well, so you can designate where those which businesses are going to have the art nights, and that's part of that collaboration. That's part of that stuff that you're able to do when you office out of the same, or have your offices in the same building, and you're able to talk to one another. So we're excited to be helpful in getting their promotion off, because it's a win-win for everybody involved. So I want to give a shout out to Jenny and their program that's coming up as well.
Yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Chamber-based show. Thanks, Todd, for coming by. Thanks, Lisa and Pete. As always, we really appreciate your hosting our show here at Professional Pride Realty, just off Highway 3.
Thanks, Gordy. Appreciate it.
Fantastic.